Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, all the products I used and all the dimensions will be listed below so you can recreate this project. There's also a link to my online store if you'd like to take advantage of the clearance and order any product. I would love to have you as a customer. There's also my email address if you'd like to get a hold of me or if you have any questions. There is a link to my Facebook group. We'd love to have you join that. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that you can help me grow in YouTube world. And if you don't ring the little bell, you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. So let's get on with the project. We're going to be using Happiness Abounds and the Hues of Happiness paper today. They sadly are retiring. I love this set. But we have to make room for the new stuff, so we'll move on. So we're not stamping any of the flowers in this one. We're going to be using 2 verses out of here, and I will show you what we're making. There's an envelope, and here's our little card. Opens like that, and it stands very nicely. It's a pretty little card. This is, just forgot the name of it, Melon Mambo, color I used, and Daffodil Delight. We're going to use different colors on this one. So the limited stamping we're going to do first, and then I die cut these flowers from the paper, and I've already done that to speed things up because it does match, but I brought out a couple pieces until I've been hacking up the paper, and the dies do fit these, like this one here, and there's one for the big flowers and the leaves. And so I was using the paper this time instead of stamping, but you could stamp them too and die cut them, but I opted to use the beautiful paper instead. So let's do our stamping. We need to do the stamping 2 pieces of white cardstock cut at 2.5 by 2.5. And we are going to be stamping at an angle today. Before I lay those out though, we do need a stamping mat. Now it looks like it's time for me to put a new cover on this one too. And we're going to be using only one color of ink today, Gorgeous Grape. You have to excuse my voice today. It's going, and I don't know why. It's raining hard enough, my voice should not be going, but should be bringing down the pollen, but this does happen in the springtime. And I'm lining this up right across the center, and it says best wishes, just like that. And the other one we're using, which I've used multiple times, wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. Now this one I'm going to be stamping more towards the top. And it fits in the top rather nicely. Just like that. This leaves me a little room to write. Now, if you wanted to write more on your card, you could always put it back on the back side of the card. So if this is not enough room for you to write, you could put a piece here, maybe put a border of yellow behind it, and then put the white and have more room to write. But this was enough for me for now. Excuse me. So let me grab our pieces that we need. Save the envelope for last here. So you're going to need 2 pieces. This is Highland Heather. This is what I chose to pair because our base is Gorgeous Grape. So we have 2 pieces that are 2 by 3.25, and that's to mount these onto. And then we have a piece of Gorgeous Grape. We'll go over the DSP in a minute. And this is Peaches Gorgeous Grape that is 11 by 4.25. I'm going to set those off to the side and get my trimmer. You could do this on the scoreboard, this part, but we're going to also do trimming, so to me, it made more sense to just use the trimmer. And there is 2 score lines. The first one is 2 1/8. That's where we're going to score. And then we're going to scoot over and score at 5 1/2. I'm just going to set this off to the side for just a second. Now this is the large piece here. At this short piece here, this is where we're going to mark it with a pencil and a ruler. Did I bring it up? Where's my small ruler? We don't need an 18-inch ruler out here. So you want to take and mark this at 2 1/8. And you want to use a pencil so you can erase what you don't. You can put a little, just a little mark there. And this is so we know where to cut it. Now I'm going to flip it around here so I can see my score line and my little tick mark there. And I'm going to cut. Ooh, can you see this? What's happening? Trying to get closer so you can see it. Focus, focus. Do you see how I'm getting the fur lines here? I call them the fur lines. That is a sign that it's time to put a new blade in, which I need to. I bought new blades. They're with missing stuff that I can't find. My craft room is a disaster at the moment, but I promised myself that the next week this whole room's getting overhauled. So this is the score line. I flipped the paper over. So bring this down this way. Don't ever cut onto well, cardstock it can bend, but definitely on DSP you can bend your corner and you don't want that. So start on the flatter side and cut it. Yep, I definitely need a new blade. But if you get the fluffies, if you just go like this with your finger, they're fine. Now I can still see a little bit of my, so I'll erase that right now so I don't forget. So a nice arrow. We could call it the arrow card, I don't know. So then we're going to fold this back and give it a good burnish. Just 1 moment. I'm terribly sorry. I do not know what's going on. And give this a good burnish, which I didn't give it good enough burnish. Like I said, you just run your fingernail on those edges. That, like I said, I need to get a new blade. That's a good way to tell you need a new blade. So that's what the card looks like so far. Now we need the DSP. And I went into a sheet. Now the sheet that I pulled this from, I don't have an extra sheet, but the purples were all on one end, on one side, and the pinks were all on this side. And so I went for the purple on this card. So this piece is 5 1/4 by 4. And like I said, you don't need to write anything down. They're all listed below. And that's going to get glued right in here. I'm going to flip this around. There's no right or wrong really, but most of my flowers were pointing that way, so I was looking at these flowers here. They most were going the wrong, right, going up, not down. And then one panel is going to go on this piece here. Oh, sorry. There's 2 of them at 3 1/8 by 4. Like I said, if I forget to tell you and you can't read this thing, all the dimensions are going to be listed below. And this one is going here. This is a very fast card. It doesn't take long to make. You don't, other than the dies to cut your flowers, you don't have any special dies or anything. So this is what we have so far. Next we need to attach our pieces to this. have about a 1/4 inch border. Like that. So the first one we have to hook on is this one. And it's going to go, and you're going to line this point up to the score line. It leaves a nice little Gorgeous Grape border. So I found the easiest way is, you know you're going to have a border on this. So I found the easiest way is to make a little triangle like that. I just felt it was easier than putting it on the card, which we almost always do it that way, but this way worked easier for me. I'm going to hold this for a second because we're going to use this as the guide for the next piece. Okay, so that's like that. Now this piece is going to go on here. So the easiest way to do this is line this one up with that one. Hold it in place. Add your glue. Don't get your fingers in it. Make sure you're still lined up. And then bring this over. It's always easier to bring the back over when you're trying to line something up. I'll hold that for just a second. So it's hidden behind there. Got a little fur right there. Okay, then we have the flowers. Now I did, like I said, I did cut out some flowers. I cut out the flowers that matched. I didn't do the yellow because I didn't want yellow in this one. And I think I want this purple one up here. Doing a little dress rehearsal. Put this one like that. And I'll put this down here. And then I'll stick these two in on the sides. So I'm going to use some dimensionals. You could place them flat if you wanted. So let's look at this here. So I want to stick towards, whatever you do, you want to make sure that you're not exceeding the top of your card. So I'm going to go towards the bottom. 2 should do it. And then I'm going to put this one on with dimensionals. And it's going to hang over this side, which is fine. So I need to put 2 right about there. Actually, I'm going to stick one more right here. I want a little more stability down there. I don't want someone to grab it and pull it off. Just like that. Now this one I'm going to set over the top like this. So I need a dimensional right about here. Like I said, you play around with this and, you know, figure out what you want it to look like. And then I'm going to put a little glue right here because we don't want it double stacked. Like that. Now I'm going to hook a green leaf here. Out like that. And I'm not putting dimensionals on the leaves. I'm just gluing those down. And I'm going to let it droop down a little bit and off to the side. I think I'm going to have that one come down here and pull off. Well, I'll change my mind and come up that way a little ways. Just push down a little bit there to make sure you get it. And then this one, I think we're going to have it come up about like that. So I'm going to put glue more on this side. So that's that part. And then I looked at it and said, no, it needed something. So I grabbed the Glossy Dots Assortment, because there's just beautiful dots here. And I'm going to grab a large one. Let's split the stack here. I'll put a large one there and a medium over here and a small one right here. Got a little glue right there, so after that dries, I will clean that off. I'm not going to fool with it right now. So you get glue where you don't want it, let it dry, then take your eraser or powder, whichever you choose to use. These are little gum erasers. I think I bought a pack of 12 or something like that, or more than that, from Amazon. Really cheap. And like I said, once it's dry, I can just go in here and clean it off, but not until it's dry. Okay, so that's our card, but I wasn't done, wasn't satisfied. I went and grabbed some Wink of Stella and decided, I'm giving a little squeeze, not much is coming out. There we go. Just gonna rub a little Wink of Stella over that, a little over the leaves. I know you can't really see the wing. I'll hold it up and see if you can see it. Just sort of scribbling over the leaves and just to give a little sparkle. Let's see if you can see. You can sort of see with the Wink of Stella, but not much. But it is there, and in person it does make a difference after it dries. So that is our card. And I needed a beautiful envelope to go with it. And so I just grabbed a piece of DSP. Mine's 5 3/4 by 1 3/4. And I'm going to grab my seal. And I'm going to put it right on the envelope here, across the top, across the bottom. And I'm going to line this up with the fold on the envelope. Grab my snips. And give it a little haircut. You can't have naked envelopes out there. You could have also stamped it, but I have a lot of this paper left, so I decided I was going to do that and use this. So that is our card and our envelope. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you all have a nice weekend, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.